streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
911, what's the status of your emergency?
My dad won't wake up.
How old are you, buddy?
8.
Now on News 6, a child's heartbreaking 911 call likely saved his dad's life. So why is Sheriff Mike Chitwood furious at the father?
If I got him in a room for 2 minutes, I would be smacking his head against the wall, telling him, wake up.
Oh, there was a guy under your truck.
Under my truck?
New in minutes, a story that will have many of you shaking your head.
Yeah, that's a police officer learning an innocent bystander was under the wheels of his truck, run down during a police chase. New in minutes, why prosecutors just announced the officer is in the clear. And cheers in Eustis weeks after a washout. A road's just been reopened. We're there tonight as families can finally go home. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Matt Austin.
I'm Ginger Gadsden. We're also monitoring breaking news at the Cape. Now at 10, we are just minutes into a countdown, minutes left into a countdown. If all goes as planned, you're about to see the final flights of one of the most successful rockets in history. We're talking about ULA's Atlas V. And it comes hours after Blue Origin made history with the newest rocket to fly from the Space Coast.
But we start new at 10 tonight with that little boy's heartbreaking 911 call.
My dad told me to use this thing that would, if he wouldn't wake up, it would save him, but nothing happened.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood says a dad had trained his 8-year-old son how to use Narcan in case he overdosed. News 6's Troy Campbell is in Volusia County with the story.
Yeah, Sheriff Mike Chitwood says the father put his son in an unthinkable situation. On that 911 call, which is hard to listen to, you can hear that boy plead for help.
911, what's the status of your emergency?
My dad won't wake up.
How old are you, buddy?
8.
You're 8? Okay.
In this call to 911 from Tuesday afternoon, you can hear a young boy from inside his Edgewater home pleading for help after his father became unconscious from an apparent drug overdose.
Can you see if he's breathing?
Yeah.
He is breathing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's good. Can you yell to your dad to see if he'll wake up? Can you just say, Daddy, wake up?
I even tried hitting him.
You tried hitting him and he didn't wake up?
Investigators say 44-year-old Daniel Johnson told his son earlier in the day to administer Narcan on him if something were to happen to him while he was consuming several different types of illegal drugs. In the call, you can hear the boy say he attempted to do just that.
My dad told me to use this thing that would, if he wouldn't wake up, it would save him, but nothing happened.
My God, you're doing dope and you want your 8-year-old kid to revive you.
Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood says it's unfathomable the child was taught how to administer Narcan to his father.
Dad trained him to be his eyes and ears if he overdosed. Really, think of that. Think of how sick and perverted and twisted that is. I'm going to use drugs, and if I die or if I come close to overdosing, my kid's going to save me.
The sheriff's office says there were several needles and other illegal drugs, including fentanyl and heroin, found near Johnson before he was checked out at the hospital and then taken to jail.
If I got him in a room for 2 minutes, I would be smacking his head against the wall, telling him, wake up. You're all he's got in this world. What are you doing?
Chitwood says the investigation showed the boy's mother also died of a drug overdose.
We're going to do something special for him. And my staff's working. I don't know if we get him up on Air One, we get him out on a boat, we do a combination of things.
And court records show Johnson is still in custody on charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and child endangerment. In Volusia County, I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Wow. Breaking right now at 10 o'clock tonight, a rare double launch at the Cape. Even more rare, neither launch is the work of SpaceX. You're looking live now at Launch Complex 41, where ULA is about to send up one of the final Atlas V rockets. Its payload is a broadband communication satellite called ViaSat-3. 3. So we just have a few seconds left now before that countdown enters its final phase, and you will start to see this rocket launch. This is a ULA rocket once again. It's been a workhorse for space, and it has been in use since 2002. Hopefully. Yeah, it has a perfect flight record is what our producer is telling us right now. But look at the weather tonight. It is picture perfect out there. We've had some delays earlier this week because of weather, space weather for other rockets. And we got off another rocket today, the New Glenn. We'll talk about that one in just a moment. But look at this thing standing on the launch pad right now. Let's listen in to that final countdown.
T-minus 10,
10,
9,
9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We have ignition. 2, 1. And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, carrying Viasat-3 Flight 2, adding unprecedented capacity to Viasat's global multi-orbit network.
Atlas is switching over to closed-loop control. Passing a mile in altitude, engine parameters continue to look healthy. And we complete our roll program, body rates return to 0. Mach 1, Atlas is now supersonic. Hydraulics continue to look good, engine parameters stable.
You are hearing
Max Q,
Daniel
maximum
Brunson,
dynamic pressure.
providing launch vehicle ascent data.
Vehicles throttling back up to near full power. Passing 3 miles downrange, approaching 8 miles in altitude.
All right, so far everything looks nominal. It looks really good out there. We're saying this is one of the final launches. After this one, there are about 10 more launches of the Atlas V. That's because the Atlas V is being replaced by the new heavy lift Vulcan Centaur rocket, which has flown 3 times so far. So tonight, this one looks picture perfect. The Atlas V flight was the second launch of the day. Just 6 hours earlier and 4 miles away, Blue Origin made history with a picture-perfect launch of its New Glenn heavy lift rocket.
Lift off detected. Tense motion. New Glenn has cleared the tower.
Spectacular. After several delays, this is what I was talking about earlier, for technical reasons, weather, even space weather, the second flight of the New Glenn lifted off from Launch Complex 46 at 3:55 this afternoon, and we brought it to you live right here on News 6. First, this was the first launch with paying customers. NASA sent up twin Mars exploration satellites for a mission called Escapade. ULA says they successfully made it to orbit about 33 minutes after liftoff, but the real excitement happened much earlier.
Flex deployed. Countdown.
Great shot from our booster.
Standing by for touchdown.
I don't know if you could tell, but they were really happy. That is the first successful landing by the New Glenn. And like SpaceX, it is meant to touch down on a robot barge in the Atlantic. The rocket's name, never tell me the odds. Blue Origin's barge is named Jacqueline, and it is normally docked at Port Canaveral. Your Brevard County community correspondent James Barbero showed us another view of the launch and landing. He was with a huge crowd today as well. You can catch his report on clickorlando.com, but just an exciting night. Believe it or not, we could see back-to-back double launches again. According to SpaceX's website, it's aiming to send up 2 batches of Starlink satellites tomorrow, one from the Cape, the other from Kennedy Space Center. And what's wild, they are both set for the same launch window starting at 10:01 tomorrow night. So we'll keep you posted. We'll let you know if that changes at clickorlando.com/space.
New at 10 tonight.
Oh, there was a guy under your truck.
Under my truck?
Big developments 9 months after that police officer learned an innocent bystander was run over and killed in a high-speed police chase. Tonight, the state attorney's office confirms to News 6 they have declined to press charges against that officer. Orlando Police Detective Christopher Moulton has been on paid leave since the investigation started back in February. The detective was trying to stop another driver, Dornell Bagnari, who was on the run. Bagnari lost control and crashed, running over a man named Gerald Neal. Officer Moulton's truck also ran over Neal, who later died. A 14-page memo from the Orange Osceola State Attorney's Office concludes charges would not be appropriate under state law. The decision was reached October 17th, but was just made public. We have reached out to the Orlando police for comment. Prosecutors say the other driver caused the injuries that killed Neal, who died weeks later. That driver is facing charges, including vehicular homicide.
Justice after decades in Brevard County. Tonight, the state of Florida executed a U.S. Marine convicted of raping and murdering a young girl from Merritt Island. As News 6 investigator Mike DeForest tells us, this was the 16th Florida inmate put to death this year.
The state of Florida has executed a former U.S. Marine for raping and murdering a young Brevard County girl decades ago. Back in 1979, authorities say Brian Jennings kidnapped the 6-year-old Merritt Island girl through her bedroom window while her parents were in another room. A jury convicted Jennings of raping Rebecca Kunash and then drowning her in a canal. He is the 16th death row inmate to face lethal injection this year. Governor Ron DeSantis has ordered more executions in a single year than any other Florida governor since the death penalty was reinstated nearly 5 decades ago.
And I want to make sure that people that have exhausted all these appeals over many years, sometimes decades, like when all that's done and they're there and there's victims' families that are wanting to see justice, then I'm doing my part to deliver that.
DeSantis attributes this year's flurry of executions in part to the COVID-19 pandemic that caused delays in the criminal justice system. The governor says he would not, quote, pull the trigger on these executions unless he believed the inmate was guilty. Opponents of the death penalty say they're alarmed by the pace of this year's executions. Another inmate is scheduled for lethal injection next week, and yet another one next month. If those happen, it will mark 18 executions for the state of Florida this year. Mike DeForest, News 6.
Thank you, Mike. School security concerns tonight in Orange County after a strange incident. Deputies say a man walked into a middle school and pulled a fire alarm. This happened yesterday at Meadowbrook Middle School on North Lane in the Pine Hills area of West Orange County. They arrested that 32-year-old man. So deputies say a school worker opened the lobby door thinking Wesley Session was a student. Deputies say Session ignored orders from the worker to leave and tried opening the doors to the student courtyard, but those were locked. The school tells News 6 Session only got into the lobby and no student areas. Parents were told about the incident and the school was put on alert, but not a lockdown.
Excitement in Eustis tonight, still bouncing back from last month's floods that tore up several roads. Tonight, one neighborhood has reason to celebrate. The road to their homes is open again. News 6's Alex Cook was there as crews finished up and families finally got to go home.
Just a few hours ago, I would not have been able to stand here. That's because floodwaters destroyed a culvert under this road leading to these homes on Creek Run Lane. As of 5 p.m. Thursday, though, the road is finally back open, and those displaced residents were able to drive their cars back home.
Proud to announce that this road is now open both lanes.
The barriers came down, and the residents flooded back in, honking and cheering as they drove home for the first time in 2 weeks. Chief Swanson says the work began on November 7th, and crews worked day and night to complete the job he says would normally take 4 months in just 6 days. Thursday afternoon, they finished the job by paving the road, making it safe for residents like Michelle and her family to drive across and get their lives back to normal.
Sort of just glad it's over though, huh?
Yep, sure am.
Chief Swanson thanked the crews from several companies who worked together to get the road back open so fast and get these families back home. Now the crews go to work on other roads in Eustis as the city continues to recover from those floods. In Eustis, Alex Cook, News 6.
Well, tonight, a big milestone for an FSU player from our area who a lot of people have been praying for.
Yeah, months ago, he was shot in the head. Family called it a case of mistaken identity. Today, Ethan Pritchard used a wheelchair to leave his rehab center. What's next in his road to recovery?
And our brief cold snap is over. For now, I am tracking warmer temperatures on the way, and it looks like it could last through Thanksgiving. I'll show you how warm it could get coming up.
I'm News 6 investigator Louis Bolden. An Apopka couple is out of tens of thousands of dollars after a roofing company cashed their insurance check but never replaced their roof. I'll have the story coming up.
You're watching News 6 at 10. Live on a Thursday night, we're covering Flagler Beach, Fruitland Park, and all of Central Florida.
I don't trust him to do the job, so I want my money back at this point.
Now on News 6, an Apopka couple is out of tens of thousands of dollars after a roofing company cashed their insurance check but never replaced their roof.
So they came to News 6 investigator Louis Bolden for some help.
Here's the initial contract that we signed.
After a hailstorm hit Apopka, Steve Coleman and many of his neighbors had roof damage. So he hired a company that a few of his neighbors had used successfully.
So my neighbor was already getting a roof replaced with this company called Hurricane Roofer, so they referred me to them.
Coleman had Hurricane Roofer come out to inspect the roof, but when he filed a claim with his insurance company, it was denied. He says Hurricane Roofer connected him with the logical firm.
They said that they'll be able to fight on your behalf with the insurance companies.
According to court documents, after mediation, the insurance company settled the claim for $44,000, one check for $16,000 to the law firm, and another for $28,000, made payable to Steve and his wife Yvette, Hurricane Roofer, and Rocket Mortgage.
We need to endorse, Hurricane Roofer would endorse, and then send the check to Rocket Mortgage for them to hold the funds and distribute when the work is complete.
Instead, according to Coleman's insurance company, the check was cashed on July 29th. So the insurance company confirmed that the check was cashed?
Yes.
And the owner of the roofing company acknowledged that the check was cashed?
Yes.
The Coleman signed a contract with Hurricane Roofer 2 days before the check was cashed on July 27th. Work was to begin in 6 to 8 weeks, according to the contract. Now, nearing mid-November, the couple's roof still hasn't been replaced and the money is missing. Do you want your money back or do you want him to repair your roof?
At this point, I don't trust him to do the job, so I want my money back at this point so I can look for another roofing company to do the job.
News 6 went to the company's office on Lake Underhill but got no answer. This is Louis Bolden. I'm an investigative reporter with News 6. We also called and left messages for the owner, Tim Thickus. He sent us a text message reading in part, I had a significant commercial job that has refused to make payment, which trickled down to non-payment to my subcontracted roofing labor and material suppliers. I will continue to operate in good faith and assure you that there is nothing illegal or ill-intended in our business dealings. News 6 also contacted the Apopka Police Department, which encouraged the Colemans to file a fraud report, which they now have.
I wouldn't trust them with anything. If anyone sees them, they should run far away. You see Hurricane Roofer, stay far away from them.
Reporting in Apopka, Louis Bolden, News 6.
Great news to share tonight about the FSU football player who is recovering after being shot in the head.
After more than 2 months of care, take a look. Ethan Pritchard is moving on to the next stage of his recovery. As you can see, he left Brooks Rehab in a wheelchair this morning, where he completed 34 days of intense rehab. Before that, he spent more than 5 weeks in the hospital in critical condition. He's a Florida State linebacker, Seminole High School alum who was shot in the back of the head near FSU on August 31st. In what loved ones call a case of mistaken identity, he was ambushed outside an apartment building while dropping off family members. 4 people were arrested, 3 charged with attempted murder.
A Brooks Rehabilitation spokesperson says they are proud of the progress Pritchard has made so far. And you can read the full statement and get a better look at the new video of Ethan. Just look inside this story at clickorlando.com. But that was fantastic to see.
Love to see that. He is getting better and he is fighting. All right, let's get you over to our meteorologist, Michelle Morgan, who is taking us through a gorgeous night and maybe an even better weekend.
Yeah, you know, after that brief cold snap earlier this week, things are going to continue to warm up. So we're actually starting our warming trend tomorrow. It was a pleasant day across the region. Today we saw an official high of 75 degrees in Orlando. This morning was chilly though, starting off in the middle 40s, but things are going to continue to warm up nicely as we go through the next several days. So here's what you need to know. It'll be a cool start tomorrow in the 40s and 50s across the peninsula. Patchy dense fog is certainly possible in a few locations, especially if you live closer to the lakes. If you are planning on heading out early tomorrow before the sun comes up, allow extra traveling time. Now, it looks like things will be above normal. The temperatures as we head into the weekend and drier conditions will take hold of the forecast at least through the next several days, and that is going to pose a threat in terms of drought. So some areas are abnormally dry, and that could expand across the region as we go through the next couple of days, or several days, I should say, because of the lack of rain and the low humidity values. Right now, temperatures are in the 50s and 60s across Central Florida. As we go through tonight, dropping into the lower 50s in Orlando, Wedgefield, and Sanford. As we head to our coastal communities, 59 in Cape Canaveral, 54 in Daytona Beach, and 58 in Melbourne. So tomorrow's forecast is looking fantastic, featuring plenty of sunshine, rain-free, and things warming up nicely. It'll be a very pleasant day. Starting off at 57 around 8, 68 around 10, 73 around noon, and getting into the upper 70s as we head into the afternoon hours. Now, your forecast highs here, normally we're around 79. We'll be around 78 degrees tomorrow in Orlando, 76 in Claremont, 77 in Wildwood, 76 in Ocala, and 77 degrees in Kissimmee. Clouds and rain forecast, fast forwarding the time here. We're looking pretty nice as we start off our morning. We'll see a few clouds stream in from the east, but that's about it. As we wrap up your Friday, things will be pleasant, and we're going to hold on to those pleasant conditions as we head into the weekend. So here's why everything's going to be much warmer than they have been. We have a ridge of high pressure that is going to slide over the peninsula. Our temperatures are going to respond. We have that sinking air. Temperatures are going to warm into the 80s as we head into the weekend. So looking at a great weekend ahead. Looking at the temperature outlook, getting closer to Thanksgiving, it looks like a good chunk of the United States will be above average, indicated in that reds, the oranges there. If you are doing any traveling, if you're heading out to the west, maybe the Pacific Northwest, temperatures will be below average. Now, the drought monitor showing abnormally dry conditions for Marion as well as Sumter and Lake counties. And as I mentioned before, that could expand as we go through the next several days. Real quick, what's happening in the tropics? A whole lot of nothing, thankfully. No tropical development is expected in the next several days. And if you're not counting, I am. We have 17 days left of hurricane season, 42 days until Christmas, and the New Year's Eve, 48 days. I'll leave you here with your 7-day forecast. Watch out for that patchy dense fog, and we're in the 80s heading into the weekend.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, when the temperatures drop in Central Florida, there was a manatee migration to Blue Springs State Park in DeLand.
So no surprise, this week's intense cold snap sent many sea cows to seek warmth. Next at 10, News 6's Paul Giorgio spoke to visitors hoping to catch a glimpse.
It's so beautiful. It's very peaceful. It's very therapeutic.
I'm glad we came here first time here. That's pretty cool.
They keep coming over here and be in the sun, which is so cool. Yeah.
It's definitely a great day to see these.
There's almost 200 in here. So they counted 194 manatee in the spring this morning.
I came out here to see the manatees. Oh, I was always told that it's a good time to come to the springs when it's cold to see manatees, because when the water's cold in the St. John River, they come to the springs because the springs stay 72 degrees year round.
So the manatee come in every year about mid-November. The reason they're in a little bit early this year is because they are really cold. The cold front really pushed them in.
There's quite a bunch over there by the tree. I think I see a little manatee nose there. Yeah, a little manatee nose. You'll see them like puff up when they come up for air. It's really cute.
It's crazy to me to see them this early though. My name's Brittany Murdoch. So I'm a manatee observer and I'm a volunteer. When somebody wants to hear it, I love to talk about manatees or anything nature related. Well, right now, oh my gosh, we've got the baby that was born 10 days ago with her.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm
She's,
not sorry.
Did you see her come up?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so was born 10 days ago to our biggest manatee, Annie. Yes.
Wow.
So the 10-day-old baby
Yeah, I think there's
is
one.
right here.
Look over there. Look at that.
Oh, she's putting on a show for you guys.
Or you see them on TV or on a show or something like that, but nothing, I mean, here in their own habitat.
When the manatees migrate, the people all come. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
It's free to download to that TV or your smart device. Have a great night.